Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to talk about the Legacy metagame. Now, with the introduction of Modern Horizons, along with the commander sets that have come out recently, Legacy has gone through some changes, but I'm having some fun. I recently won a Legacy challenge, so I'm in. But that's results-based thinking. Let's jump right into the metagame. What's important to understand about this metagame is that it is technically a winner's metagame since Moto only publishes top 32 of challenges, but it's still very, very close to the decks that you're going to be playing against. So this is the Legacy metagame. As you can see, it's pretty diverse. There are some most popular decks that are very clearly most popular, but you can play a lot of different things and be successful in Legacy. Tied in the 4th and 5th spot, for example, is Dimir Tempo and Painter. In the 3rd spot is Eldrazi, 2nd spot, Dimir Reanimator, and in the 1st spot is Red Stompy. So let's talk about each one of these decks. The Dimir Tempo deck is exactly what it says on the tin. It plays effectively costed cards to counter your spells, to play creatures that are very, very effectively costed, draw a bunch of cards, kill your stuff. Playing cards like Psychic Frog, which is just nuts in Legacy, Nethergoyf, Murktide Regent, Tamio, countering things with things like Daze and Force of Will, and drawing cards with the classic Ponder Brainstorm combo. When you think of Legacy, this is kind of the deck that I personally picture, because it's cheap, powerful spells all jammed into one deck. The other deck that shares the 4th and 5th spot is Painter, which is kind of an old school Legacy deck that has been sticking around. And I'm going to talk about it again when we talk about Red Stompy, but Blood Moon is just so powerful right now, and the success of Red Stompy and Painter really attest to that. And Painter's got a few new toys in Fable the Mirror Breaker and whatnot, but this is effectively a combo deck where you're going to play Painter Servant, make everything blue so you can counter things with Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast, and then get a Grindstone on the battlefield in a ton of different ways. Activate Grindstone, and since everything is the same color in your opponent's deck, it mills the entire deck, and then you win. Now, since the Painter of old, this deck's gotten a lot better at a mid-range plan and a secondary plan with Urza Saga, making guys, and Fable the Mirror Breaker and things like that, which is likely what makes it so powerful is that it has multiple plans and it's really hard to attack the deck on those axes. But it's still really cool that an old school deck has been sticking around. The 3rd most popular deck, and the deck that by and large did not exist before Modern Horizons, is the Eldrazi deck. Now, it's kind of an Eldrazi aggro deck. This is the deck I actually top-8'd or won the challenge with. Essentially, it uses fast lands with Eldrazi Temple and Ancient Tomb, and Ayavugan's kind of a fast land in this deck to get very powerful Eldrazi out as fast as possible, get more lands, destroy your opponent's lands. And really, the deck is based almost entirely around Glaring Fleshraker, where every time you cast a colorless spell, you get a 1/1 Eldrazi. It's not a Scion, whatever the new one is. And whenever a colorless creature enters the battlefield, it deals a damage to the opponent. And that happens very, very quickly because once we have an Ayavugan and a fast land or two or something like that on the battlefield, everything you cast makes a guy and puts a colorless creature onto the battlefield. And then you can use that mana from the Scion thing to cast more creatures. And it kind of repeats on itself, and we have really big plays like Kozilek's Command, make a bunch of Scions with a Glaring Fleshraker on the battlefield, and pump up those Scions with It That Heralds the End, plus a decent top end in Devourer of Destiny and Null Drifter, and then every Ancient Tomb deck, they have turn 1 Chalice, which is just excellent. The 2nd most popular deck is Dimir Reanimator, and this deck has been around for a while in Legacy. Effectively, it takes the shell of the Dimir Tempo deck as the Psychic Frog stuff, and adds a Reanimator package to it, which is made even more consistent with Troll of Khazad-dûn. So the idea is to entomb an Atraxa or Swamp Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûn, or Zarkon of Cruelty as well, and then cast either Reanimate or Animate Dead on it, and then just kind of win the game off of that. It's a much more consistent version of the Red-Black Reanimator deck, and has gotten a lot better with the introduction of the Miracle Guy Metamorphosis Fanatic, which is already good by itself, and then just adds another reanimation spell. Then the most popular deck in Legacy over the course of the last week is the Moon Red Stompy deck, whatever you want to call it, that plays creatures that end the game super quickly, like Broadside Bombardiers, Goblin Bombardment, Caves of the Chaos Adventurer, alongside decent mid-range cards like Fury and Fable the Mirror Breaker, total neutery cards like Vexing Bauble, and Blood Moon effects like Literal Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. Blood Moon's just so good right now. It locks a lot of decks totally out, like the Eldrazi deck. And this deck is just totally full of powerful cards, so it makes sense it's being so successful. Now, if you like this video and enjoy these Legacy metagame analysis, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.